Welcome back to Healing in Spanglish. It's episode 17, and it's your hosts, Metzli and Ixchel, your Boyle Heights besties, figuring out what wellness looks like for us and our people.
So let's get real about healing in all the ways we weren't taught but deeply deserve. So the theme for today is talking about food. We're going to be talking about what it is like to grow up in food deserts, especially thinking about all the systemic factors in our communities like Boyle Heights, as well as other low-income communities who are significantly impacted by access to food, talking about like what is around us and how we grew up eating, but also having just a real conversation about how much it is hard to have a healthy relationship with food because we're surrounded by so many things that force us sometimes every day to eat, sometimes things that aren't the greatest for us. And so we're going to be talking about our own experiences and what it was like growing up and the little baby steps we're taking to also give ourselves grace every day.
Yeah, to heal on our own healing journey with food. And it is a very complex relationship for sure. So I do think it also requires a little bit of a warning per se, since we will be talking about some things of how, even eating food might, affect how we feel externally. Just like a warning there that we'll be talking about food a little bit in depth and what it's maybe had an effect on our mental health as well. With that said, we're going to do our weekly check-in of the week, and we're going to start with our Spanglish word of the week. We decided to choose 3 words. We chose queso fresco y frijoles. Yes. Yummy. Some of our favorite things. Yeah. And also just like cute names like queso fresco y frijoles.
That's all I need. That's all a girl needs.
That's all you need in life. But yeah, we both love frijoles. We both love queso. Queso fresco.
No, literally.
And it's just a staple in a household. You grow up with it. You eat it a ton. And it's great. It's all you do need in life. Seriously.
Honestly, yeah. Like if I ever want to snack on something, that's my go-to.
Perfect. All right. And with that said, we're also going to do our mini healing confession. So what is it that you're working on this week?
I'm working on being more responsive over text.
Good for you.
Yeah. I feel like I've definitely gotten better this year, but I think like I have to make the time because it's like these are people that I love in my life. And so I'm trying to just be more intentional about it. And like, and maybe I take like 2 times during the week where I sit down and just respond to everyone. Because there's like some messages that I'm like, me. But then obviously there's the ones that I really care about. So yeah, I'm working on it because I'm just like, I'm so fucking busy all the time. And I think we've talked about it, like sometimes even like responding to a text and it's somebody that I love, like I feel like I have to be there fully present and sometimes I'm not
be like
engaged.
About it.
Yeah. And so that's why I put it off. But yeah, that's my little healing confession.
I feel that. And honestly, it's overwhelming if you come home from work and it's like 10 texts and you're just like, ugh, like it's a lot. And you just like kind of neglect it. But I also agree, like what I usually do is like once a week, then I'm like, okay, whoever I did not respond to, all right, let's go through it all.
Yeah.
And it only takes like 15 minutes once you do it. But
it's true.
I get it. The thing that I'm working on this week is I really have been thinking a lot more about journaling. And I mean, every time I talk to people around me, including Ixchel, everyone shares how impactful journaling is. And I've done it before for a while, but I sort of lost touch with it. And I do it only when I'm feeling, I think, most like angry or like high emotions. Yeah. And I want to normalize doing it even outside of that, like just to gain like daily clarity on just like my thoughts, because it really does force you to like slow down. My excuse has always been, well, the pen can't keep up with my thoughts, but that's kind of the point I'm realizing. So I want to focus on journaling a little bit more because it does force me to slow down how fast, our brains can move, especially in my head. So I got a lot more time on my hands though. I just fell and now I have an ankle sprain.
I know.
My turn 1 year later because it was her and now it's my turn.
Bro.
So here we have my crutch.
Here's her crutch. Yeah, that's crazy though. Running, yeah, she was out here being the Boyle Heights bestie, and
I was already thinking of a new series. So look out! I'm gonna do like come with me to a coffee shop on a crutch. Like it's gonna be a new series.
It's gonna be so
Nothing
silly.
can stop me from supporting the small business.
Stop, you guys! If you see her outside, you have to stop her and tell her to go home and sit.
I was literally thinking like, what would it be like to try to walk?
Stop! Don't think about that. It's so bad.
I know. But point is, it's a perfect time to journal.
It is the perfect
I
time.
literally am sitting down. I should probably journal.
It's like, I fucking hate that I sprained my fucking ankle.
Yeah.
Or whatever
I
happened.
know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm working on this week though.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's real as fuck.
Okay.
Okay, well, now that, we're going to be talking about food, I'm interested, like, what was a cultural food that you grew up having and that it's like your go-to?
Yeah, like a weird combo, right?
Weird combo.
Like a weird random. Okay. Two things. I think this one's a normal one. The first one is arroz con crema, like sour cream.
Yes.
And orange rice, like Mexican rice. Just slathering it and just like, oh my God, it's just so good. Yeah, I know there are people out there who had it because you haven't, right?
I tried it once.
Oh, okay, you've had it once.
But like, I didn't know it was a thing.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. I remember I would not eat my arroz without the crema. Like at one point, probably middle school, I think mostly.
Whoa.
But it was a thing, and it was so good. I loved it. And the other one that I think is maybe less popular, but I'm pretty sure everyone could imagine how good it would be. Frijoles with hot Cheetos.
I was like, what?
Like using a hot Cheeto as like a dip for the frijoles. It's like, yeah, it's delicious.
I have to try it.
Yeah, it's making me more hungry. Okay, what about you?
I would have to say, now that I'm really thinking about it, I think it's a weird combination. I'm so sorry, my Guatemalans are gonna be like, but like our curtido, like we make so it's like all marinated. I think it's like ejote. I might be wrong. It's a bunch of freaking veggies and ingredients, and it's like fermented.
Yeah.
And then like my mom, it's like all purple.
Yeah.
I think she uses beets, so it turns out purple. And then we add like queso fresco and like eggs on a tostada and meat and beef meat. And I think it's such an interesting.
Sound that bad?
Yeah, I just struggle with vinegar sometimes.
Got it.
So that's my issue. Yeah, but it's good.
Taste.
Yeah, like I think like when she puts too much in it, because I know it's meant to be fermented, it's like overwhelming for me. But it is I would say it's really good. Like
that
when it's like the perfect balance.
Yeah.
It's like so delicious.
Yeah, well, because if you imagine, like we already put it on our pupusas, so
like that.
There's frijoles in that, like I could see it not being that like weird, but yes, if it's too strong, sometimes I could see.
Yeah, I'm like, oof.
Okay,
yeah, I'm like, I don't want this right now. Yeah, but it's delish. Yeah.
Yummy.
So being from Boyle Heights, I'm really, really interested in seeing how you perceived like access to food and what was your experience growing up here when it came to like eating or buying groceries and things like that. Like, what did you have access to at your fingertips?
Yeah, I mean, definitely early on. I first of all, I did not understand very early on. I think the number one thing that I knew about food was the food that I had at school, like the free reduced lunches. And I will say, I think even those free reduced lunches influence and impact like how a lot of us maybe not appreciate, but like experience food, which is not good. The food sometimes, I mean, I'm sure you remember even from high school, like someone wasn't even fully cooked. Yeah. Like I remember pasta, and it was like, I could still see like the dust of like the dry pasta. It was like hard. Like I could crack it.
Damn.
So point is, I think like that was something early on that I remember, school food, and how, yes, it was free. I didn't understand that not everyone had it that way. Yeah, it was free, but it was like low quality and just like not even low quality alone. It was just like not cooked sometimes. And so I understand how a lot of people did not like that. I was the type who like would quite literally eat anything. So I did always eat like anything that they gave me. Because like, girl, I was hungry. Yeah. I was hungry. But I do know that at home, based on what like my parents had told me, for one, I know that the closest things to us obviously were stores. The closest thing were liquor stores, right? On the corner streets, fast foods, like that was the easiest thing to see. And I remember, and I've shared this before on the podcast, where I always wanted some of the things from fast foods, like a Happy Meal, but those Happy Meals were really expensive at the time. So I just remember definitely a lot of fast food restaurants. And obviously those like to kids taste really good, like they're nuggets and fries and they're like addictive. And even grocery stores around us, like the closest ones were obviously like things like Food for Less, Vallarta, Superior, and they're decent, yeah. But even going into a grocery store later on in life, like in middle school, when I started learning about food deserts, I remember I did like a project and we were learning about it. Then I understood like the setup of grocery stores and how our stores look very different than other ones in different communities. Because even when you walk into a grocery store, all the aisles are filled with processed stuff. Yeah. You're not going to go into one aisle without there being like processed packaged, a bunch of additives in the aisles. The only things that tend to be fresh in grocery stores are on the outskirts. That's why you see the produce on the side. You see like the eggs, you know, on the outskirts in the back. And you see like the fresh like meats, right? Things like that in the back as well. And that's it. There's no other place in the aisles where it's like Whole Foods, really. So that's what I remember early on. Yeah, just liquor stores were like the easiest thing. I know my mom actually really did try to have us eat from stores that were not in the community. She actually told me like in elementary school, she would drive to Pasadena to Whole Foods to try to buy us food from there.
Yeah.
Which is expensive, but she was like, I'm going to make this happen for her. I want her to eat better than what she always tells me is than she did. And she said the thing that happened though was that one time she was at Whole Foods and she was told by like some white people there, like, you guys shouldn't be here. Yeah, like she was embarrassed, like she was humiliated that because she was brown, they told her like, what are you guys doing here, straight up? And after that, she never went to Whole Foods again. So
that's fucking crazy.
I think that's where then like we just started eating like whatever was accessible in the community, but it was very discouraging for my parents. They tried and then they like couldn't maintain it for too long. They tried, you know, right? Like soda. I never had soda growing up, but I still was surrounded by so many foods around me that like I wanted to try, and they were addictive. And even I think my parents also were addicted to it too. Like we all liked it. Yeah. So that was probably my experience with what I saw growing up. Yeah. How about you?
I mean, pretty similar, honestly. Yeah. I could say that like there was nothing in our community that was like a Trader Joe's or like a Whole Foods.
Didn't even know they existed at the time.
Yeah, I had no clue. I didn't find out until I was like maybe in college, honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think like it was really hard, and like you said, like my parents had to go an extra effort if they wanted to find a store that had better options, less processed things, fresher produce. And so I know my mom always, because she works a lot in like cleaning homes in like Hollywood or like the Pasadena area. So I know because she took public transportation, what like she would do is she would go, and then right after she clocked out, she'd go to the store, she'd get fresh produce and like the things that, you know, other things that were maybe like not as processed. Cause like I think as a kid, like I also struggled with like wanting chips, like or wanting.
You see other kids have it, you see it promoted on TV.
So I'm like, I really wanted a hot Cheeto bag, but my mom was always like, no, mija, like, you know, I think she tried, like sometimes she would buy me, and like there was a time where I would eat it pretty often, but she tried her best to find like an alternative option. But for my mom, like because we were living in Boyle Heights, it required extra effort, which was like right after work where she just had a really tiring shift. She had to go, she came back carrying like 3-4 bags. Like she would carry so many things and on public transportation just to bring it back to her house and to, you know, hopefully help us, you know, consume things that are better for us. And so, it was just, I think that's what it was, but it was also just very difficult because I think I was surrounded by it. And I always wanted like McDonald's too. I always wanted like Taco Bell and like Jack in the Box. And like, I love fries. Like I'm addicted to fries now currently. And so, I think it was really hard because I always like really, really wanted it. And I think I tried to, I don't know, like, you know, like try and like minimize some of the things, but it was just like annoying because it's like sometimes when you wanted something, that's all you had accessible at your fingertip.
Yeah,
and you just went, and that shit was bomb. But true. Yeah, very similar to you. Like my parents just had to go an extra mile. Yeah, they tried their best.
And that's like that's the unfortunate part that like there's so many barriers to do it. Like the fact that she had to go really far to get it, and on public transit. Goddamn.
With bags. Like, this girl would carry so many bags.
Like I can see how discouraging it can be though. Either way, right? It's just like hard. Our parents can only do so much because when then we go to school, we then get exposed to even further. Because I was going to ask you, obviously your parents, my parents, like they really made an effort to try to prevent us from like taking in so much of this processed food, probably from their own experience of knowing the, you know, the issues that it can give you, right? Like health-wise, and also just the addictiveness and whatever it is, right? I'm curious, like when was the first time though, since you said at one point you were eating chips every day, like when did that happen, or how did that happen? If like your parents were trying to like help minimize that for you, when did it like shift? Was it because of school or no?
I'm trying to remember. I think it was just like in high school, probably in high school. Yeah, I just remember that like I think I was having tummy issues, honestly, like because
Okay,
I was
yeah.
just consuming a lot of fucking chips.
Yeah.
And my mom would buy me like the big bags because back then it was like 2 for $5.
Right.
So it was a deal, and my mom was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get this for you because it's a steal." And so I would eat them. I would go through them like in less than a week. And you know, my parents were eating it, and my parents are older, so I think they were also like, you know, the more we buy it and we have it in the pantry, the easier it is for us to consume it. And so yeah, I think it had just gotten to a point where I was like, I felt it in my system where it was just like not okay for my body. Like I was feeling like I think my stomach would burn a lot. So just with my mom, I was like, I'm going to try my best not to eat. Like maybe if like every once in a blue moon, I'll buy something like from the Respello Man, or I'll go to the 99-cent store. So yeah, and then my mom also, I think, like she told me, she's like, Iksha, like I don't want you to eat this all the time. Like maybe I buy you once a week. And so it was kind of like, I don't know like what clicked in my mind. Like maybe I learned something, I can't recall, but I do remember telling her to stop buying me the 2 for $5 bags. Yeah, I did tell her, I was like, I can't do this anymore.
But that's the issue with it, right? Like they're like, even though, first of all, even though you know it's bad for you, right? Like we've seen all these documentaries at this point. We've heard about it, about McDonald's, about chips, about Red 40. Like we know all these stuff exist, and we still eat the stuff. Yeah. Even knowing that your stomach's gonna hurt, right? I'm the same way. I know my stomach's gonna hurt after I eat chips. I'm still gonna eat it. Why is that? Because the problem is first of all, it's quite literally addictive, right? Like the science behind the actual like ingredients makes it so that you quite like literally crave it more and more. So unfortunately, when our palate like gets accustomed to like those things, to eat a regular banana or orange isn't the same anymore, because now our tongues like know already like the sensation and the feeling and what like these other things cause us. So it's so unfortunate because like they become addictive, that like we know how bad they are, but we still eat them because they're comforting, they're affordable, right? Like the 2 for $5 deal. Like my mom too. Now it became 2 where it was like, well, I'm just gonna get the extra 2 bags of this because it's cheaper. Yeah. But it's a crazy strategy to me, because if you think about it, like I wouldn't have bought those 2 extra bags, but I'm only gonna buy them because they're a deal, which that's how they end up getting you. Like you actually do end up paying more than you originally were. Yeah. But we take everything as like a deal, because when you come from a community like Boyle Heights, if you grew up like low income here and only had so much money to spend on groceries, you're trying to get whatever you could for the best deal, because it's gonna extend its life longer, right? Like the money you have. So it's a trip. Like the marketing tactics, the way they sell things to you. I mean, it's all intentionally trying to get you to buy it. So it is really hard to say no when it's like, it's all around me. It's on every street. It's on every corner.
It's the first thing you see.
Everything I see. It's in school. Kids are selling it. Like it's the cool thing, right? It's the good thing. Like people love it. So it's like, girl, you're literally working against the system to try to not eat it, to try to not want it. But it's there's like billions of dollars poured into these marketing companies to sell it to target our community. Yes, especially us, because they can target it in the way of like, it's cheaper, right? Like McDonald's now has like you buy one thing, you get a whole other burger for free, or you get fries for free. Yeah, if you use the app, you can get free fries all the time. So it's like, you're fighting against like billions of dollars that are working to convince you otherwise. Yeah, like, exactly. How can you say no?
Exactly. And like also it's good. Like I have to be honest, I will say I love a good bag of hot Cheetos.
It's good. Our taste buds are used to it.
I was like, give me some Red 40, please.
No, literally. And that's the thing too, right? Like as a kid though, when we're growing up, I feel like, I don't know when you understood, well, you said high school, but like before that, in middle school, elementary, we don't really truly understand the implications it can have on us. We don't. Not until we start to like be able to process that information and learn, then we know like, oh shit, this is pretty bad. Like the awareness is great, but then even then, right, in high school, like I was like, well, I'm still eating it, maybe a little bit more aware, right? Like for me it was maruchan, the noodles. I think I would eat those every day after school, or nesquite. But then finally in college, when I got exposed to like how bad it was and what other alternatives there could be, I got rid of maruchan, but I still wasn't okay all of a sudden like clean eating, completely. That was really hard to unlearn what your body was already used to. But it's a trip.
It's a trip, yeah. Funny you say Maruchan. I remember I had a teacher who I remember in third grade. She like told us, she was like, "You guys eat Maruchan all the time, right?"
Yeah.
She was like, "I think I don't know what we were studying food specifically, but I remember it was like the craziest thing I had learned as a third grader." She was like, "Let's look at the nutrition facts." That was like the very first time in my life I had even knew what the label was. She like walked us through like everything, and then even like the fine print, which is like the ingredients. She was like, the most important part here with your Maruchan is you have to look at the sodium. It had like 1,000 something, and she was like, "That's insane." She was like, I think she said like the normal amount that you should consume is like something way like a 2 double-digit number. And I was just like, what the fuck? And I remember being that tiny. I went home and I told my mom, and she was like, what? So my mom was even shocked, because I think my mom was still trying to learn, but I remember being little and being like, wait, this is kind of fucked up. Like in my mind, I was like, whoa, why are we eating it?
Yeah.
You know? But it's like you don't comprehend the systemic things at that age that are like...
We don't have classes on that. I mean, the fact that your teacher told you about that, like, that's great. However, even then, I feel like schools get in trouble for that, because it's like, oh, you're not a nutritionist.
That's true.
But it's like, when the fuck do we have a nutrition class in elementary, in middle school, in high school? Probably there's like a cooking club, and that's about it. Like, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel the same way though. You saying that now, I'm like, I don't think I ever formally sat down and had a class on nutrition, maybe briefly in like science class or something, but not memorable enough, right? Like now where it was like a whole semester of like, when it's something that's essentially part of our well-being, our life, it's a trip to me that we don't have classes on like quite literally things that we are doing on a daily basis, right? Like finances and food. It's like,
it's weird. Insane. There's like no preventative care, because it's like, if you think about it, the nutritional classes typically come after you're diagnosed with like my dad, like once he got diagnosed with diabetes, he was like, forced to go to a nutritional class.
Maintaining it now.
Yeah. And it's like,
not preventing it.
Yeah. It's like, what the fuck? So it's like it's all made purposely so that like, we get these issues, so that, I don't know, I see it in like a full circle moment where it's like, then the healthcare system fucks us over, because we just, you know, we're fucked up by the systems and our food deserts everywhere around us. So I'm like, it's insane. It's fucking insane.
Yeah. No, the first time I feel like I actually sat down and learned, kind of like you in third grade, but for me, my freshman year of college, I was excited about, it was like a food class. Like, I'm gonna learn about food. I didn't know it was going to be about like nutrition, you know? And that like woke me up when I was like, holy shit, like I'm eating all this stuff and I have no idea, really, you know, like you don't really process it. So speaking of, you know, how we've experienced food, lived in food deserts all our life, how do you think this, you know, food insecurity that probably a lot of people in our communities experience influence maybe the shift between trying to eat healthy versus just surviving? Well, I think it's a very layered conversation, just because, you know, when we think about our communities, like they're working very labor intensive jobs, and they're probably getting paid nothing. You know, a lot of our communities start with like cleaning homes or being janitors, or, you know, whatever it is, they're all very heavy in like labor. And so I think like that plays a big role in how people decide and make a decision when it comes to food, right? Because it's like, you know, we don't get paid enough. So if not, then, you know, the most cheaper thing to feed like my home is like a whole family,
and sometimes like McDonald's, for sure. Or, you know, a fast food chain. And so it's like, I think a lot of people are just don't have the privilege, because I think it is a privilege to think about like, you know, what you're consuming, what you're eating, and to even be able to have access to these things.
It should not be a privilege, but it is
a privilege, unfortunately. But and so I think people just, you know, when they're tired, like I could understand like why parents would, you know, we're gonna get McDonald's, we're gonna go home, we're gonna eat
order pizza,
like, exactly.
Also time wise, and like people are our community. A lot of people, like you said, they're working long hours or sometimes multiple jobs. No one got time for cooking food, you know. And like I think like you said, time is also such a privilege. Like it is.
We literally have barely any time to do anything if people are working a lot. So I think people are subconsciously, like a lot in our community are in survival mode. So they're just doing the best with what they can. And, you know, I think thinking about also like a lot of our immigrant communities, like a lot of them grew up in poverty in like, you know, their motherlands. And so when you even think about that, it's like they were trying to eat whatever they had access to. Like they were sharing like one thing amongst like 6 or 7 siblings. Like, so I feel like a lot of that mindset is what like a lot of our communities still have. And so
For sure.
they're just trying the best of what they can do. And unfortunately, like, we're surrounded by, fast food chains or liquor stores or, places that maybe don't have the freshest produce. And so they do the best with what they can. And, it's fucking hard.
Yeah,
it's really fucking hard.
And even we were looking into some data as well when it comes to food insecurity. And within our community, within the Latinx community, it's that 1 in 4 families deal or are challenged by having food insecurity. So I'm like, if 1 in 4 people are like barely being able to eat meals, it makes sense that the last thing on your mind is the quality of the food or how good it is for you. You're just trying to eat something to get through the day.
Yeah.
To function. But it is so unfortunate that like that is the reality. And I agree with you on your point of just like how internalized at this point a lot of our generation sort of experience food because of, like, for example, my grandma, she tells me stories because sometimes, I would judge her in the sense of like, girl, why are you eating that fruit? It's literally, you could see the mold.
Oh, yeah.
Or she would leave things out for days. And I'm like, that's gross, grandma. Like, why are you eating it? And once we've actually talked about it more, she was like, well, when I was in Mexico, like,
we ate it.
We ate what was in the dumpster. Like, and what was crazier? She said, this actually reminds me of my childhood. And I'm like,
I know.
Like the moldy food reminds her of her childhood. It brings her comfort.
Yeah.
Because that's what she had. And so I'm like, damn, yeah. Like being in our situation now, I'm like, yeah, what a privilege, because now I can think about these things. And obviously that's the goal, right? Like we want to be in the place where we can actually think about like what we're intaking. But it is so unfortunate because I can't even imagine how little they even had time to think about what they were consuming versus like what was good for them, because there was no time for that. You're just trying to eat something, whatever you could, right?
Survive, yeah.
And I'm like, even now when I'm thinking about like meal prep, right? We've talked about like eating and trying to eat well, right? Like now that we're aware and we have more access to knowledge, that we've been able to go to higher education and learn about it. I'm like, even trying to meal prep, it's hard. Oh my God, why is it so difficult? Like, it's like you're either meal prep or you have, or you do this or you do this. Like, it's a huge effort. So I'm like, damn, it's even hard to try to like shift a lot of the things that you've done. Like you're fighting, like I fight on a constant day. Like I can order food and it's much easier. Don't need to cook. I can maximize my time to work and do all this stuff. Or I can take hours out of my one day or multiple days to like actually cook. And it's a lot of work.
It is
it's
so much work. No, yeah.
It's crazy though.
It is crazy, yeah.
How inaccessible it is still.
Yeah,
it's so hard.
I know a lot about my mom too. Like she cooked every day, like at home. I'm like, I don't know how she did it. And I think part of it is like,
crazy.
I think she worked a lot of part-time labor intensive jobs that, she had a little bit of time to do it. But I think about it like now, like as I'm working these like really intense long hours, I'm like, I come home, I'm not thinking about fucking cooking. I'm thinking about laying down and resting.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And it's like you said, it's much easier to order. And then when we live in these communities, it's like, well, if we look online, it's like,
and it just got worse. And like, I mean, now we can get it delivered. I mean, that wasn't always a thing.
No, exactly.
Now we can get it delivered, and there's like deals on the apps, too, where it's like, you buy this, you get $10 off actually, or it can come to you in 10 minutes. I just did order something in because I am on crutch, okay? And I had no help. And
you don't need an excuse, girl.
And so I ordered, and I remember distinctly seeing the message, you saved 26 minutes by not driving there. Like it was planting the seed in my head, like you saved time by ordering, girlfriend. And I was like, that is ridiculous.
That's crazy.
But it did, because girl, how was I gonna get there?
I know. What'd you eat? I'm curious.
Ramen.
Ooh,
sushi.
From where? Daigo Kuya? As you should. No, but that's crazy, because then we talk about like the privilege of having time, right? Like sometimes you just click the button and it's here and it saves you time.
Yeah, no, and it says it to you. It reminds you. Like, it wants to plant those seeds, like saves you time, and it tells you how much you save money on, discount for ordering this. But it's a trip.
It's insane.
Okay, so now that we sort of talked about our own experience, upbringing with food in our community, and the difficulties around it and the challenges or barriers that exist, we also know that as you become aware of health, right, food, there becomes like this cultural food dilemma, I would say, where we are told, right, by society that like a lot of our foods are unhealthy. So I'm curious, like, what is traditional in our communities? Foods like beans, rice, corn, all these things that are like huge in our own, whether it be like home countries of our family and whatnot. These are the things that everyone would eat. But now here in the US, you see this like narrative as them being presented as unhealthy in mainstream, like the US in general.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I think like it's very fucked up for them to portray it in that way, because I think it's like, just adding a different layer of being racist towards our own communities again and again, like saying that what we eat is not okay.
Right.
Like setting up our standards have never been right, and we've been doing it all wrong our whole lives. But the reality of it is that our ancestors, like when we think about like indigenous communities, this is what they consume. Like when we think about like corn and things like that, like maize and flour, like that was very, like even sacred in a lot of our communities. And so I think that in the US, I think it's viewed in that lens because a lot of it is processed. Like, I think it's just here the ingredients change significantly. It's shifted. And so I see, like, I'm sure that like if we were to look at the science or whatever, there probably are ingredients that aren't that good for you. But if you go back to like the motherland, like if you eat the same food you're eating here, it's significantly different.
Whole foods. It's whole.
And so I think like it's very like that's what happens. And so like what we see here in the US is basically telling us that like what we're eating in our cultural foods aren't healthy. Like they're not healthy, and that's not what we should be consuming. And so I think it's just very detrimental, because I think it just makes us feel like, like we don't know, we haven't been doing it right the whole time. But the reality of it is that our cultural foods,
that our food isn't good for us.
That it's not nutritious, but like it is. It always was, and it has been for so many centuries.
At the root of it, though, when you think about what is actual, like, right, different countries, but let's say like for me, Mexican food, I'm like, it's a lot of vegetables. I think about corn and maize and squash or beans and right, like
and nopales,
like, right, and I'm just like, it's the same thing, right? Like actually they're really nutritious for you, but yes, here they're presented as a way of just like really hyper fixated on, very heavy on the like tortillas and grease. And also the US has shifted what like Mexican food is, right? Like there's these like fast food restaurants now that are Mexican food. When we think about Taco Bell or
Del Taco,
I don't know where else, but different places like that, I'm like, that's not Mexican food. But it's, or
they've capitalized on our cultural food, but then they talk shit about our cultural food, which is like, what?
But I feel like it's easy to internalize, like being told that your food is unhealthy, like our food is not good for us. But at the root of it, it's actually filled with a lot of vegetables and nutritious foods. But it's changed immensely, like here in the US, where it's not actually what the root of the food is anymore, because it's filled with a bunch of shit to
add GMO,
add whatever,
like
make the size larger, the portion larger, to make it more addictive, to make it more fattening, right? Because it tastes good. And so like, it's different than what it's actually at the core of it.
I'm curious also, like, what do you think defines like health culture, or what's like the narrative that's out there that's really, making us feel like we're not doing enough?
Well, I think you brought up a good point when we were discussing like this topic about how in Los Angeles, specifically where we live, there's like, it's like a unique bubble of how we experience food culture, like just
health and wellness.
Health and wellness is like definitely something that's hyper fixated here in LA, and not in like a healthy way. There's like this clear culture of certain stores and places that are really good for you, right? Really healthy. And also like just certain things that you practice that make you a healthy person, right? Which a lot of the times, even I see in my own family of like tias and stuff, eating less is good for you. That's like what makes you healthier for some reason. Eating less carbs. I always hear them like, I'm not eating carbs right now. Like, it's just like this like push of just like skinnier is better, smaller is better, less is better. And the more you have, the unhealthier you are, where it's like much more complex than as simple as that. but yeah, I mean, there's obviously a ton of stores that when we think about like what's healthy, and right, there's some truth to the access of like what they have that are like nutritious there.
Yeah.
But they still push like this narrative of like one version of being, right, a human, right, like year one, right, like there's this like huge craze about how good and healthy they are. When you think about what they sell, I went there for the first time actually recently with my mom. I'm like, well, it's just like fancy names for all the same stuff.
And it's just well organized.
Yeah. And I mean, okay, sure, maybe some things are like better, right? Like less ingredients, but it's really still like at the root of it, still what we technically grew up with, right? Like fruits and vegetables and just like whole stuff, right? Like that's what it is. But I don't know. It's a trip though. But I would say that's like sort of what like, I mean, also what we see on TV, right? Like what's like part of like this health narrative or healthy eating or lifestyle is just like, it's always the big thing that comes to mind for me is like the smaller, the better. And I feel like I've even internalized that where like, I really do struggle with like sometimes putting on clothes because I'm like, I don't feel good in this because, and why? It's because I feel like I don't look the way I should look.
Yeah.
Even being aware that that's false, right? But like, it's so hard to not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because the reality is culturally, a lot of us as Latinas, as Black and brown people, we, and I just saw the show, right? Real Women Have Curves. So like, it also like talks about this in that like theater performance, but we're not built that way either. So like genetically, right, with our DNA, like we're also told that like this is one way to be, but we actually look very different normally, but that's seen as like having too much on you or right, like as if it's unhealthy, but that's actually like our genetics.
Exactly.
Healthy or not, like it's actually not a factor to be able to determine, well, you are healthy because you are skinny. Like it's really not as simple as that, you know? So yeah.
It's true. It's just very, I feel like LA is very particular. Like I talk about it with some of my friends from the East Coast and they're like, yeah, like why the fuck are so hyper fixated on like health and wellness? And it's really scary because I think about so many of our younger generations and like they have like with access to social media, like them feeling like they have to fit into this. But then like you're saying, it's like, well, we live in communities like this where it's like, we don't have access to a lot of these things. And so, I think it can be very difficult for like a child to see all of that and trying to find a way to be like, you know, peer, like what the mainstream wants you to be. And it can just be so detrimental to their like overall mental health. Like it's insane. Cause I'm like, it affects me as an adult. Like I get so brainwashed by all this stupid shit that I see online. But the reality of it's like, I can just imagine how these kiddos are impacted.
Yeah. I was going to say, obviously I know you work with kids too. Like, do you even see it come up at all with kids that age at all or not as much?
I don't think so yet. I think I see it a little bit more with my high school kids. I think my middle school kids are still not too aware of it, but my high school kids, I think I think high school is a time where you're like trying to find yourself, trying to fit in. And I have noticed that sometimes like they're like, I don't feel good about myself. And they're very like insecure about like their body sometimes. And I think, oh man, like sometimes I just wish like I could say certain things, obviously, but I'm like, like I can't say certain things. But I do see them like just very concerned about like their looks, how they're being perceived, and but
that's where we're fed for sure. Yeah,
but
it's so unfortunate.
It's very much like when I see them, I see myself. Honestly, like I think a lot of it hasn't changed, and they're trying the best with what they can. So
I know it's so sad.
Yeah, also like I try not to talk about food with them, honestly, like, because it's a very delicate topic.
A simple phrase can influence, right? Because I hear that and I've shared this too. Like some of my tias, like what they'll say among younger kids, right? Like all my little cousins who are like in middle school or elementary, say things like, right, like, oh, you're eating another plate, or you got to lose weight. Like I've directly heard that they say those things like, oh, I can't eat that, and touch their stomach. Like I know you're doing that because you're projecting your own internalized, experience of how you should look. But you are now influencing the younger girls that are hearing you say, oh, I'm on a diet, or I'm not going to eat, and touching yourself as if like trying to point at, stomach, like having anything here is bad for you. Like it's crazy how like those little things you might think are harmless, but they hear it. They hear it, and they're aware that like what you're trying to tell them, especially people who we look up to or family. Yeah, it's so unfortunate.
It's really sad. I know. When you said that, it made me think of one of my high school kids recently, about a month ago. I think we were having like a banquet, and she's like, "Oh, chow." She's like, "I want another one. Like, should I eat it?" Like, just in my head when she was asking me that, I'm like, "You don't have to ask permission to eat what you want to eat." Yeah, and I was just like in my head, I was like so sad because I'm like, she's like 17 years old, like all in her head, and I'm like, she's like, "I'm just gonna feel so fucking fat," and I was like, I literally looked at her and I called her. I was like, "Don't say that." I was like, "Don't say that to yourself. Like, you can eat that if you want to enjoy it. Like, nothing's gonna happen. You'll be okay." And yeah, it just makes me think like, damn, like it really fucks with the little ones' heads, and it's insane. Like, I fucking hate it. I'm so sorry. I'm just like, I hate it so much. I hate the discourse online. It's like, we can't fucking exist without having to feel like we're doing everything wrong and having to fit into a fucking box when it's like, we're all just so fucking different.
Yeah. And also like you were just saying right now, like food is also often seen as like a punishment at this point for a lot of people. Like, well, I can't eat that because I'm not allowed to, or like it's bad for me in the sense of like, it's going to do something in this moment to my body, right? Like it's kind of like a punishment that we treat a lot of the times, or it's like a special reward where like, oh, after I run or something, then I can have something good, right? And it creates like this notion that like food is like either a punishment or a reward instead of like something that you should just like listen to your body and what it wants, right? Like if it's hungry or not. And sometimes we like ignore cues because we can't even understand cues anymore with like our own body, right? Like there's a big disconnect with food and how our body wants stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it is unfortunate because that is a reality that a lot of people will or won't eat food because of this large like dilemma of how you might perceive like externally.
Yeah.
And it's very dangerous, obviously, as we see, because people now can't like eat food for the joy of it. Like it's so complex. Like it's so much more complex. Oh, and don't even get me started. We didn't even say this, but like now all these huge commercials about Ozempic.
Oh God, forgot about that.
And they're like athletes that I look up to.
Serena Williams.
I'm like, she's promoting it, and then you hear like what they say like in the lines of Ozempic. About like helps you like stop being hungry. Like what? Are you kidding me? To get you to lose weight now in just a matter of a week, and it's cheaper and it's better.
Bro, it's burned into I can hear the song because like HBO has been promoting it so much.
And so has Hulu.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah,
because then it's also like, well, I was doing some research on it, and like basically the way Ozempic functions is that like it targets a hormone that like obviously makes you hungry, but that same hormone also affects like your serotonin, your dopamine, like a bunch of other like natural chemicals for your brain. And so because it's such a new drug, it's insane that it's being fucking marketed and pushed onto us when it's like there's so much research that hasn't been done. And they're finding that like a lot of people who are on this are now having mental health issues where they're like depressed.
Oh, like there's also side effects, and they say it. I've heard them say it on the commercials too. Like,
exactly.
You know you're going to deal with all these side effects that are actually really bad for you.
But you're not going to be hungry.
Yeah. But you're going to be skinnier.
Yeah.
Great.
But it's insane because it's like, well, it's just like the marketing. Like, also like when you think about like, I think a lot about like the fucking Kardashians, like the way they have also shaped the narrative in like beauty and how I know a lot of them have like, have had BBLs and then reverse session and then they're on Ozempic and and it's like obviously like this is so sick of them, like, and I also think like fuck, where was I going with this? Fuck, I lost my train of thought. We're not gonna go. I forgot where I was going with this. I had a good point.
Damn. Okay, try to think of it right now.
Think of it, but
I was just gonna say that I definitely think like it is scary the direction that like things like Ozempic are, right? We've had all these things, right? Like these weight loss stuff and all this promotion or these shows that are about like people who are losing weight in a very dangerous, harmful way. But now with this, I'm like, wait, can we stop and see like why we're even trying to lose weight in the first place? Like this is a problem with our food, our health, like our system here in the US. Now, again, we're not doing preventative work. We're doing just solutions to a problem. So now it's like, well, if you're overweight or obese, take this and you'll lose weight and it's all better. When actually, no. What, you think that that's just the rest of your life? Like, it's so unfortunate that these are just like band-aid problems that the country is trying to create for us, instead of like, let's talk about what we have access to in our communities, how we can bring more healthy food, more knowledge, more access to like education here, to be informed, to learn, and this fucking stop promoting these horrible like foods that are poisoning our communities, you know. But we're not doing that, and I don't think that's ever going to happen, unfortunately, because there's so much money made in it.
Someone,
but it's so complex. Food is so complex. So like, so that's exactly it, right? Like, how can we even blame? And this is where I like even have to remind myself, like, when it comes to shame, of like shaming our own selves for how we eat or how we look as a result of what we eat. It's so sad that like we blame ourselves for like, well, I often do this too. Like, well, I shouldn't have ate that then. Like, I shouldn't have, I've been eating all this stuff. Like, it's my fault. Like, I've been doing this, or I know I shouldn't do that, but I still do it. But it's like, we put so much shame on ourselves for making choices when it comes to food or what we decide to eat, when it's like, again, you're fighting this system that is paying billions and billions of dollars to convince you to do that. And it's just so sad, because I think like there is a lot of shame that a lot of people have of themselves, of what they eat, instead of like food being like a joyous thing when it should be, because food is so good and fun, and it should be a good experience. But a lot of the times it's not anymore, because we treat it as like, well, should I eat that because it's like good punishment? So I can't even blame like so many little girls and people, or even my tias. Like, it's so sad to imagine. Like, I really hope I 10 years from now, 20 years from now, am not like that, where I'm like so stuck in my thoughts of like what I'm eating and how I look, you know. So it's just, I don't know, it's just so sad how,
it is really
how complex it is.
I think it's funny because when we were, you know, talking about this earlier, and you were saying like you're up against a system that's like working against you, because I struggle a lot with my body image and like what I consume. But I think I don't give myself enough grace. Like, I think
for sure.
I know, like, even this weekend I had like a Twinkie. I haven't had a Twinkie in like 3 years. And I remember like she offered it to me and I was like, no, I shouldn't. And I was like, but I kind of want it. Like, I'm also like walking around and I'm so tired and I kind of just want a little sweet snack. And I fucking ate it. And then I felt so fucking guilty. And I was like trying to get myself out of my fucking head, because I was like, bro, it's okay. Like, it's not like the world ended. Like, it's fine. You ate it, you enjoyed it, and let it go. Like, it is what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's such a difficult relationship to have. And I'm still working on it, but you just gotta take the baby steps to get there.
And the last thing I'll say to this point, I also think like back to the health system, like they also add to the like experience that you have in your mind, or the perception you have about yourself, because when you go to the doctor, they do things right, like weigh you, then on your way out they give you your BMI. And so I just did this because of my ankle, and they give you your like your BMI. What does it stand for again? Your body
metric index.
Yeah. And so it's supposed to determine like your health level, right? There's like average, below, there's like overweight, and then obese. Obviously our association with like obesity is like extreme, right? It's like scary, and like it's like it means you like look a very certain way, right? Like it's just like the perception is very clear. And BMI also messes with your head, because I even felt that for myself. And I'll share this transparently, because I'm like, this is so unfair that like me as a Latina who it is not this one structure of a body, right? Like I have weight in different places. It's more complex, right? Like BMI just takes into account like your weight, and then like your height, and your like or I don't think it takes into account like if you like strength train. So like I can't even decipher like BMI being accurate to me. But my BMI, technically, I'm borderline obese.
That's insane.
That's insane, because I know that I eat actually, and you know, as good as I could, right? But like I'm aware that like I feel like I am a decently like healthy person, right? I'm active and I eat fruits and vegetables. But the fact that like the health system tells me like I'm borderline obese is a trip in your head, because you're like, wait,
what the fuck?
I can be a person who doesn't even feel like I experience the extent of like health issues that are a result of like carrying a lot of weight. Imagine like how that's why I'm like when we see other women or other people that are telling themselves like, no, like I have a lot of weight on me, it's like, well, yeah, of course you feel that way about yourself because you're being told all these things, but it's like, it's trippy that even a person that we're like, what do you mean you're overweight? Like, we don't see that. Or we don't see, we don't see it that way in our head, but like they've convinced themselves of that regardless of how big or small you look. Like, it's so sad because even for me, I was like, damn, like, you're gonna tell me
He's like, what? First of all,
that stupid. Like, what? It's just, it's just so fucked up.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
Yeah,
like, it's the whole system is fucked up.
It's bad. It's bad. So yeah, I mean, I feel like we're on a constant every day seeing it, reading it, internalizing it. And so obviously, of course, when we eat food, we're thinking about those things. I know. That's all we're saying.
Just like, I just want to enjoy a meal
without feeling guilty or shame of it.
Shaming myself, like just eating for joy, like you said.
Exactly.
And on top of that, like, I think another layer that when we really think about it, like the food that's accessible to our community, like you said, a lot of it has a lot of ingredients that aren't good for you, like are known to be high risk cancerous. And like the more you consume it, it's, can cause a lot of health issues in the long run. Like I can say, like my father, like I saw him develop like diabetes from the way he ate. And it's just very sad because it's like you were saying, like the reality is like if they were in their country, like they would have been eating fine, the same food that they're consuming. But the reality of it's like the ingredients and everything that's put around us and it's accessible at our fingertips, like really fucks with your health. And unfortunately, that is the reality. And like, I think it's very difficult because a lot of our communities are already predisposed to diabetes, to high cholesterol. And it's like everything that we have around us is all that, and where a lot of people are just surviving. Like when you think about like families that we were talking about earlier who are struggling with food insecurity, if that's all they can eat, like it's just so upsetting because then when you really think about it, it's like systemically that's fucking us with like the way like we're surrounded by these food deserts and what's accessible. And then it's like, well, now you have diabetes, now you have high cholesterol. Okay, now we're going to put you on 1,000 fucking drugs that have all these horrible side effects. And now you have to pay this expensive health insurance that the system doesn't fucking pay for you. So it's just so fucking layered because it feels like all the odds are working up against us. And so it's just very difficult. And like, I think like, like for us, I think we're trying our best, but we see the impacts that it's having every fucking day in our community. Like the amount of dialysis centers in Boyle Heights or even in other like low income communities, like it's just fucking insane. Like how fucked up the system is. And like, it's like you said, it's so fundamental. Like we don't learn about these things and we end up here. And then now we have to help people try and backtrack. But it's like, how do we get out of this?
Exactly. Yeah, it is a trip. And I'll just say too, like my dad too has diabetes and it's so common.
I know.
I mean, it's so common and it brings up now even larger issues of how you need to carefully like watch yourself and just like track yourself to be able to know like what your body is now experiencing because of things like diabetes or high cholesterol and such. And so it is, for one, very prevalent in our communities because of the food that is pushed on us. As a result, like that's what ends up happening. And it just, it's a cycle. Like it then ends up damaging our communities even further, right? Because now they have these extra layers of things to worry about, stress. They're already more stressed. They're already more doing much greater labor intensive things. And people with diabetes and people with like health issues in general should not be doing a lot of those things, but that's survival. And it's just so unfortunate. But I think in some trippy way, I don't know about you, but seeing my dad like be diabetic all his life and my mom also deal with now like back pain, shoulder pain tremendously. That's also sort of in a sad, unfortunate way, like also helped empower me to want to be more educated because I see the limitations that they have now. And so in some way, like seeing what our food system has done to my parents, I want to change that for also future of whoever is around me too, because it has to do with a lot of like, lack of access, how we said, to just awareness and education. And so that's also helped encourage me to want to try to, now that I have the privilege to have more time to be more informed, also make different choices that can balance both our culture and identity with what's good for us. So with that said, I'm curious, like, what do you think, like in your own journey right now with food, has either been helping you or that you are working towards to try to reframe your relationship to food, especially knowing that like what we've always been told about our culture is like unhealthy, and not wanting to lose touch with like identity because food is so personal. But then also trying to make like healthier choices for yourself as well.
Yeah, well, I think like first, like I feel like I lack a lot of knowledge still. Like there's still so many things that I don't know. Like
Same. Yeah.
you know, like I right now actually have been thinking about going to see a nutritionist, just to, you know, I'm lucky and privileged that I have access to my insurance and to be able to do that, because I feel like I get into my mind so much about like what I should eat, like not consuming so many carbs, but it's like the reality is our body needs a little bit of everything.
Right. But we just don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. And so it's like, it's insane because like the narratives that are there are telling you all of this, but it's like none of these people are informed and like have knowledge.
No one studied this.
Yeah, no one, you're not an expert in this. I'm sorry. So yeah, I think like that's what I've been trying to do, and not like try and get myself consumed by the main media. So yeah, just trying to like become more knowledgeable on like food that's, you know, like more nutritious, because I'm still learning like what that is for me and what works for my body too, and also like what I enjoy. But I also think because like I'm young, like I don't want to limit myself to like constraining myself to like what I can and cannot eat. I think like I do love a bag of hot Cheetos once in a blue moon, like, and that's okay. Like it's not, you know, at the end of the day, it's like we're surrounded by so many things that are cancerous. Like there's just so many things that, you know, that can affect our health overall. And it's like, we're only in this lifetime once. And so just reminding myself that it's okay to have, you know, ice cream or, you know, raspado every once in a while. And, you know, as long as I'm like, you know, not doing it on a daily basis. So yeah. And I think like, I will say for me, I struggle a lot with like, I notice that like I have like sometimes like addictive behaviors. And so I've noticed that I don't smoke or drink anymore. And so my way that my addictive behavior has been showing up, and I've talked about this with my therapist, is through my food and my relationship with my food. So like when I'm stressed, I'm anxious, I see myself over consuming, indulging, and, you know, eating things that I shouldn't be, or eating out more often. And so that's like a little warning sign to me that I'm not doing okay mentally. Like there's something in my life that's impacting my relationship to food, whether it's like work, I'm stressed or something. So yeah, just like being more knowledgeable is like my biggest thing, because I feel like I'm a baby when it comes to food. And so and obviously just giving myself more grace, because if I enjoy something, why am I gonna like take that away from myself? Like if I really want to go eat this, like let me fucking do it. And I think just catching my thoughts too, because I do get in my head a lot about what I should eat, and then I start shaming myself, and I'm like, no, like the second it's like the same way when I'm being mean to my body, I'm like, no, stop. Like you have to tell yourself, like, and, you know, interrupt those thoughts so that like you can hopefully support a better, healthier narrative when it comes to like eating. But it's a daily process. I'm just like trying to experiment too with like food, seeing what I like and what I don't like. But it's a everyday battle, I have to say, for sure. It's not easy. What about you?
I feel very similar. I'm trying to balance like appreciating and being able to like, without permission, enjoy the foods that I do love, that holds like special, you know, connection to like my upbringing, right? Like, and then I think about my grandma Chela, who she eats foods even if they're like weird to me or not good for you. She eats it because it's her childhood. And so like I'm also trying to be like, okay, well, it's also part of my identity and something that like is just what I experience and that brings me joy because of it. But at the same time also trying to not shame myself for it. That's like the biggest thing. But then also, just making an effort to, do two things. Like one, see how my body reacts when I eat foods, right? Like pay attention to like how it comes out, right? Or like how it makes your stomach feel, and being more aware of like how good that makes me feel energy wise, being able to put time into projects, focus, identifying those things, because those things are important to me. So like trying to focus on like how my body is telling me what it loves. And then also trying to, you know, as much as I could have a food consumption that is mostly revolved around whole foods, right? Like the raw whole food. And yes, also freely being able to eat things here and there whenever I want, but mostly without shame. Like that's the biggest part that like is detrimental to my mind. So yeah, just trying to find a balance of that, because those things are important culturally, and I don't want to remove them from my life completely just because they're not good for you. Like they are part of my upbringing at this point. But at a maintenance, like where I also feel like my body, for the most part, like what is taking in is also like my body is telling me they appreciate. So also just trying to like see how and what my body is telling me mostly. And yeah, also with me for therapy, like working through the shame part of just like not judging myself or feeling like it changes me as a person, you know? So that's what I'm mostly working on too.
I get that. Yeah. I think something else you said, like when you were talking about cultural food, like I feel like my mom has taught me a lot, and we work together to like, because there's so many things that we love that from Guatemala, and a lot of it is whatever deemed as unhealthy now because of all the processed things. And so I think a lot about like rellenitos, or like when we make like mole, but like my mom and I work together to try and make the extra effort to, I guess, like use more, you know, less processed ingredients, alternative ingredients, and still being able to enjoy it, but just like, you know, switching out like certain things so that I can still enjoy what I love, and that's, you know, very culturally significant to me. But yeah, like it's I think that's the best way that you can do it, where it's like you can still enjoy everything you love. You just, you know, have to try things
slowly. I think that's a great point, because that is how I also started my like switching some things in my own, you know, food consumption or my life, where as simple as like, okay, instead of maybe using canola oil, I'm going to use avocado oil. You're not removing something completely that like makes your food more enjoyable, but you're finding another alternative that's a little bit better, and experimenting to see how it feels with it, right? And that goes for everything, like the breads you have,
or like frying, like maybe air fry.
Don't take the foods away, but maybe little baby steps of seeing like, okay, maybe I replace milk with just try almond, or like see, right, to experience like maybe you see your body react better. You know?
No, when you said like how your body feels, like I've seen it a lot. I'm like, oh my gosh, I literally I feel like I'm falling asleep right now after eating this. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, maybe not right now.
Exactly.
So,
listen to your body.
Listen to your body. Listen to your body. She speaks to you.
Yeah, she's gonna tell you what she likes and what she doesn't.
Okay, so thank you so much for, you know, listening to this topic. I know it was a little sensitive, so thank you all for staying with us. And now we want to do a little fun activity, of this or that. Home cooked meals or takeout?
Both. It depends on the day. Weekends, takeout.
Takeout's bomb.
Weekdays, I like home cooked.
Yeah, I like both because I grew up eating my mom's food.
Yeah, exactly.
A balance. Sweet snack or salty snacks?
Oh, salty.
Oh, I'm a sweet girl. I have a really bad sweet tooth.
Really?
Yeah, it's really bad.
I like savory.
Coffee or matcha?
Oh, matcha. Matcha all the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say matcha. Yeah, eating the same comfort meal every day, or always trying something new?
If I know what I like, I'm gonna stick to it. So I'm probably gonna stick to the thing that I love and like. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm laughing because of what they told you about me. Yeah, I'm like, if I know I love it, I'm going to go in that same restaurant, that same coffee shop, and order the same thing with the same ingredients, and that person will know.
Why change what you know you love? Yeah.
Exactly. Because I always have a bad experience when I try something new. Like, oh my gosh. Literally. Grocery shopping with a list or just vibes?
Oh, I'm a list girl. I'm a type A girl. I know what I'm going in for and going out. Yeah. How about you?
I'm a mix. Okay. I would say I'm a mix. Because usually my parents have been going, and sometimes I go and like there's a curated list. But when I do go and I don't want to like cook something, I will bring in my little list with me. Yeah. Late night snack or early breakfast?
Oh, early. I wake up hungry. Early breakfast.
Yeah, I would say early breakfast. Yeah, I'm really hungry. Yeah, listening to your cravings or sticking to a plan?
Both. I like to stick to a plan, especially as someone who likes strength training, and in order to build muscle needs certain metrics. But I also, when I crave something, especially that time of the month, like I'm gonna get it.
Yeah,
there's no stopping me,
girl. When I'm eating a lot, I'm like, wait, oh shit, I'm gonna get my period.
No, why do I want this so bad?
Literally, yeah. I say it's a balance of both for sure. Dessert before dinner or dessert after?
I actually like dessert before. Yeah, and I actually read in a book that you should eat it before. Because, because you don't want the last thing that you eat to, especially a dessert, the way it processes and breaks down in your system, it's like the thing that's like taking up most of the like digestive process at the end. So yeah, I read a book about it, how it said like if you, at least in Indian culture, like you eat the dessert first because it'll process the quickest, and then like the actual nutritious stuff you want to like take the longest to break down, because it takes longer to break down. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but that was on a book.
Maybe she's right.
So dessert first.
You dessert first. Because I have a really bad sweet tooth, like I will fuck it up.
Yeah,
I will eat it. I will eat it before dinner, and I'm like, oops.
Yeah.
Quick convenience foods or meals that take time to prepare.
Depend on the day again, but I love the process of cooking. I know a lot of people don't like cooking. I actually really enjoy it. If I got time. If I don't, oh God, I just want it to be quick, fast. Let's go, get it done. Just whatever's like the easiest to like meal prep, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I also like to cook because I like to cook, and then I like when people eat my food and they enjoy it.
Oh my God, I get scared of people eating. I'm like, what if you don't like it?
I feel like I have good taste buds. So if I like it, I feel like most people should like it.
See, yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I would say cooking.
Nice.
Cooking's fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love that. All right. And with that said, we're going to close out our episode for the week. We're going to do our local business shout outs. Mine is C&B Burritos. They're posted up on First and Soto. They are the sweetest couple. Christina and Billy, they literally just got their first apartment after being houseless for 5 years together. So and they're so cute, and they sell burritos on that corner. Definitely encourage you to support them. They're some of the sweetest people, and they just like love what they do, and I'm so proud of them. So C&B Burritos
on First and Soto, right?
Yeah, on First and Soto on the corner. Post 7 a.m. ish. Yeah.
7 a.m. ish. Yeah. I love that. I have two, actually. Okay. One, Semillas, for those of you that haven't gotten a chance to check it out, or, you know, don't live in the Boyle Heights area, there's just a coffee shop that opened up on First Street. What's that second street there? I don't know. First Street, near like Mariachi.
Near Boyle.
Near First and Boyle. But it's so good. They have a elote latte that like the second I taste it, it literally reminds me of my mom's atol de elote. Yeah. And I told the owner, and he literally was like, bro, I'm going to cry. Like, that's the sweetest thing ever. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, the way you curated like a coffee drink to resemble something that means so much to me. Yeah. It was just so delicious. Yeah. I also want to shout out MFN Lucha. Yesterday, I went to a Lucha Libre event. We got invited. I know my Miss Girl couldn't make it, but it was fucking fun. I had a lot of fun. It was an interesting experience because I have heard so much about it, but I've never been. But I'm like, damn, this is fucking art.
And then we're going to do our wellness tip that we're sharing with y'all this week. What is your tip for the week?
My tip is to be more intentional with manifesting and affirmations, because I just feel like I haven't.
Powerful tool. Yeah.
I haven't been on it. I've just been like surviving. So I'm trying to be more intentional about it.
Love that. I would say mine is actually in the theme of food a little bit. It's to work towards eat a meal this week without doing something else at the same time. So like not watching a show or talking, just eating and focusing on the joy the food brings you.
That's very good. Yeah. Cool. Hey, well, thank you so much for staying with us. We're super excited to be able to talk about this, and hopefully it spoke to you. If it did, feel free to share it with anybody, homegirl, prima, your mother, your dad. And thanks for sharing another day with us.
Yeah, and healing is obviously super personal, but it's also very collective. So we're always grateful to be doing this with all of you. Please feel free to follow us on Instagram or TikTok, and subscribe wherever you're listening to right now on Spotify or on YouTube. It helps us continue the work that we're doing.
Hasta la próxima, con mucho amor.